Hi, everybody. So, Leader Hernandez, Spanglish Entertainment. I have an interesting guest for you today. Today is February 24th, 2025. Today we have Matt McInnis, and he is the co-founder of North Spore, which has partnered with Avowed and Obsidian Entertainment. Okay, so today we're talking mushrooms. You're wondering mushrooms? Yeah, we're talking mushrooms today. Different types of mushrooms and how they have gotten into a fun and unique way. As he called it, a geeky lab. Since I'm a geek, so it's a geeky lab. Have created this game with mushrooms. So let's see why. Well, let's talk about mushrooms today with Matt. So let's go bring him in. So, hey everybody. So, Alida Hernandez here, and here is my special guest today, Matt McInnis from North Spore. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So today I told everybody we're talking mushrooms today. Everybody's like, "What do you mean you're talking about mushrooms?" So, let's start the conversation.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about mushrooms. Yeah.
So, how did you start with mushrooms or your interest in
So
mushrooms?
let's see. The business North Spore, we're an e-commerce company that helps people engage with mushrooms in a bunch of different ways. So we help people cultivate mushrooms. So you can be a first-time grower all the way up to a professional mushroom grower, and we'll help you cultivate mushrooms either on your kitchen counter, in your garden, or in a growing system. Um, and we also produce wellness products that incorporate mushrooms and have some culinary products as well. But we started the business about 10 years ago. It was myself and a couple friends from college that started it. And sort of the common denominator with the three of us was an interest in mushrooms. Personally, I foraged for edible mushrooms in the wild when I was a teenager and in my 20s. Um, and my business partner actually went on and studied mushroom biology, and that knowledge helped us make the business.
Wow, interesting. I've always seen, I mean, I've had eat mushrooms. I like mushrooms. I haven't dared try some other ones that I've seen. I'm like, what is that? What kind of mushroom is that? Like, there's all these different types of mushrooms. And I guess the question is, are some mushrooms not edible?
Yeah, I mean, there's mushrooms have about as much diversity as plants do. So there's plants that are edible, obviously, and there's
Right.
ones that are poisonous, and there's ones that you just wouldn't want to eat because they're not tasty. Um, and yeah, mushrooms have sort of been reduced in our minds to like the singular variety that you find in the grocery store. But really, there's thousands and thousands of edible mushroom species out there, and a number of which are cultivated widely in other parts of the world, and they're starting to become more common in grocery stores and in cuisines. In other places where they haven't been so prevalent. So yeah, there's definitely there's a lot of mushroom diversity out there, a lot of like different flavors, textures. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, like we're definitely on like a mission to like get people to engage with more than just the button mushroom that they find in the grocery stores.
Oh, well, I'm excited because I hope to get some kits so I could grow some mushrooms because I just going to build my greenhouse and
Oh, nice.
I already have the above ground planters. So I have like green peppers growing, tomatoes, basil, things that I use at oregano, things that I use in my kitchen. And I'm trying to get more and more and learn. So I love there's a incredible feeling when you have fruit growing or vegetables growing and you can harvest them and eat them. It's just amazing.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and mushrooms are great in like a garden or a greenhouse. Uh, they can grow in the shadier parts of your garden where other things like tomatoes and peppers can't be grown. And they also help the soil for your plants. So it's like a very
Hmm,
symbiotic,
that's good.
healthy thing to add to your garden too.
Adding to
So
that sustainability that a lot of us are trying to be more sustainable, having like the garden. I really love it. I have papayas. I have a mango tree, an avocado tree, but they're still small, but they're growing.
oh, that's awesome.
And I grew my first sweet potato. I was so excited.
Oh, that's I'm up in Maine, so we have like 3 feet of snow outside right now. There's
Oh
no
no, I'm
chance of growing any
sorry. I'm in
flowers or
South
anything.
Florida. I won't tell you.
Yeah, that sounds a lot nicer right now.
Yeah, yeah, I won't leave Florida. But so tell me, so now I guess I saw the mushrooms. I saw you have like a pink one, like these oyster mushrooms and a yellow one. I was like, wow, they look fun too. So they're like interesting, fun, and then you're like, wow, I'm growing this. So do you find people are drawn to that, like the interesting, they look fun, and then they start growing them and enjoying the taste. Like I mean, what kind of taste do they have?
I mean, they're all different. I mean, I think, yeah, there's growing mushrooms is a lot more fun, I think, than like growing, some herbs on your counter or something. Like it happens really quickly. So you take one of those kits that you're alluding to,
Uh-huh.
and like from the time that you start it, where you like cut a slice into it and spray it with water, like you'll have harvestable mushrooms within 2 weeks. So like the
Oh,
growth happens so quickly that it's really fun to watch. Like every day
nice.
you wake up and they're noticeably different. Um,
Mhm.
so they're like fun like family things too. Like kids are like interested in them. It's a good like way of engaging with science and like growing things and food, but it's like fun and they're things that you don't find in the grocery stores, and they're really quite flavorful. And like the different varieties have different flavor and texture profiles, and they're all like quite good for you too. So it's
Mhm.
yeah, they're engaging, and I think the colors and everything are
Oh
kind of fun.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'll take pictures and all that stuff and document it. Because I always show pictures online of things that I grow. Look, I got my first sweet potato. I got my first pepper. I got it's exciting. And
Yeah.
the flavors are so good when you grow it yourself,
Oh
too.
yeah, for
Because you don't have
sure.
toxins, you don't have all this crap that who knows what they have out there. That's another thing too. But so tell me about this partnership. This blew my mind. So I saw the clip of Avowed, and interesting. I can't watch too much video games. I get all like this. But I saw the Mushroom Man.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool, like, we're always looking for interesting opportunities to kind of get mushrooms like to a broader audience. And we actually had the team from the game developer and Xbox reach out to North Spore, kind of with interest in a partnership. And so yeah, it was super fun. Like it was a great team to work with. We made this 3-dimensional, mushroom infected bear growing chamber where, like I was feeding the specs for what you'd need for a mushroom, how to grow mushrooms, and they were working on a design that incorporated this like plagued bear from the video game, and we made this thing and grew mushrooms from it. And yeah, and just like it's been fun to kind of like reach a gaming audience with mushroom growing. That's like it's just kind of a fun thing to do. And like mushrooms are showing up more and more in video games in an interesting way. Like,
Oh yeah?
like it all started with like Mario in the mushroom,
Okay.
like growing. But then there's other games where like you harvest mushrooms, you make potions from them, and then The Last of Us, like that was a huge video game, and there's a plague element that was all mushroom based. And yeah, so it's kind of a fun to engage in that way, and it was a cool project, and working with some great people at Obsidian and Xbox. So yeah, we're super psyched about it.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I mean the graphics are unbelievable in these games now. But I got to see him and I'm, oh, look at all the mushrooms. So but I mean it's great to get engage the kids, even young adults, because a lot of people play video games, that they can see something different and learn from it.
Totally, yeah. And we like to like on our kits, we have a line. It's you don't need a green thumb to grow mushrooms. And it's basically just trying to get at like these things are super easy, and they're meant to introduce people to growing their own food in like the easiest way possible. So yeah, I think getting them in front of like different audiences of people who are like maybe not mushrooms are not like their primary interest, but
Right.
they're interesting enough and kind of fun enough that yeah, I think they're they're worth experimenting with.
Yeah. I know a lot of people in my circle that are, into fitness and healthy eating, and that's why I always try to promote too. That probably would be very interested in. A lot of them are vegans, and they always look for alternative, right? Alternative things for protein and for substance. And I think those mushrooms would be good for that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're a great source of protein, and you can grow it at home. So like you think of like all the energy that's put into like meat replacement, like,
Ah,
all these different like kind of like chemically enhanced engineered foods. But
mm,
really, like, mushrooms are kind of like the original meat replacement. They have a ton of protein. They're very easy to grow. They're sustainable. They taste meaty and quite delicious if you cook them correctly. Um, so yeah,
yeah.
that's definitely like they're great for like the whole wellness kind of.
That's good. No, that's awesome. That's why I always find like interesting stuff like this, I mean, I'm fortunate that I've been getting a lot of great emails from people out there on these stories, because I don't think it's something that you just run into, the mushrooms and the gaming on top of it. So it's like a double whammy here.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's a kind of a unconventional partnership. And that's the kind of stuff like we're psyched about that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it is. That's exciting. I mean, Xbox, you said, so people are going to be on there. I'll tell my kids, look out for this game and see if you like
yeah,
it.
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
And see if they notice the mushrooms. I'll ask them, tell me if you see something.
yeah, oh yeah. I think they're pretty prevalent in that game. I haven't played it yet. I'm excited to though. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I just saw that trailer and everything like that. So how long have you been with North Spore, the company itself?
So I founded the company, but we've been doing it since 2014. So
Okay.
over 10 years now, about 10 and a
Right.
half years. Yeah. So it's been a wild ride. I mean, we started as a fresh mushroom farm, growing mushrooms and selling them to grocery stores and restaurants, and really like discovered that there is an appetite for people, growing their own mushrooms and not really a lot of educational support.
Mm.
Um, or like an e-commerce, like a easy to access way to get these things out there. So that was really like we started to shift into, you know, producing a lot of educational content. We have a thriving YouTube channel where we make videos about mushrooms and culture, but also like how to grow them, how
Oh,
to use
nice.
them, how to forage for them. Um, so yeah, I definitely implore people to go check that out. Um, but yeah, it's been kind of a wild ride, and mushrooms like really I think captured the attention of the culture over the past number of years in a bunch of different ways, not just video games, but um, yeah. So it's been a great time to kind of be in the mushroom business and help people kind of
And you,
experience these things.
that's a great thing that you thought of. But you've been always in Maine?
Yeah. The business has always been in Maine.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in Portland, so kind of the biggest city in Maine, right on the coast.
Okay.
Um,
I hear it's
yeah,
beautiful.
it's gorgeous. It's nice. It's
But
very
it's not
different from
cold.
southern Florida, but also yeah, quite cold. Very very cold winters, but really beautiful, fun summers. So
Yeah, I lived in New York. I was raised in New York, so I know the weather.
okay,
I
yeah.
went through, yeah, my birthday was in February, so every time there was always a blizzard on my birthday. So it was
Oh
really
yeah,
boring.
yeah.
But yeah, now you made it down to Southern Florida here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love southern Florida.
You
That's
know.
I take any opportunity I can to get down there.
Yeah,
So
the beaches are beautiful. I was living further south, and now we moved a little further north. So I'm about 2 hours to Fort Lauderdale. So,
nice.
but it's nice. It's a different atmosphere. Sometimes you have to change. I lived in the city all my life, so
Yeah.
I was even trying to grow stuff there in my little spot that I had outside by the pool. I only had like a little area, so I had
Yeah.
little containers just with some herbs and tomatoes, trying to grow things out there.
That's
And
awesome. I love
now
when
that, huh?
I was just gonna say I love when people like take like whatever space they have and try to grow some
Yeah,
stuff.
you can grow some. You can grow inside in your house, like herbs. You can have them inside your house, and because now I have the challenge of the bugs outside. So that's why I'm making a greenhouse with a zipper so they won't get attacked by all the bugs. Because I found these big caterpillars and these beetles that look like they have armor on them. I'm like, what the heck is that?
Yeah. Yeah, you have some different pests down that way than we have
Oh
up
my
here.
gosh, I've never seen this before. I'm like looking, I had to take a picture and Google it. I was trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah, what is this thing?
Yeah, so that's one thing I think a lot of people have challenges with that they don't know. Like I'm not a, expert gardener. But I like growing a couple of things that I know I won't kill, right? So I try doing that. So mushrooms, everybody should listen that mushrooms are simple, that you can grow mushrooms in your house or outside, and you're not going to kill it.
They're simple, they're tasty, they're fast growing. Yeah, they're worth trying at least once,
Yeah, I would. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Especially the different types of mushrooms. I went to a farmer's market the other day and they had a variety of mushrooms, which I was surprised. But my issue is I don't like buying anything if it's been sitting there for a little while, right? So
Yeah,
mushrooms, they start getting funky after a while, like anything else, vegetables start rotting and then it disrupts the whole thing. So I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna buy mushrooms unless if I grow them or they just came out off.
totally. Yeah, I hear that. I feel like mushrooms definitely have a shorter shelf life than other produce. And there's a huge once you grow mushrooms yourself and you're picking them and then cooking them,
Yeah.
it's you're never gonna go back to buying them in the store.
No, 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 because they probably don't even have the store ones don't have flavors like the other vegetables do. Um,
Yeah.
it's a difference when you grow it and you put good soil in it and you nurture that plant, right? The
Yeah.
flavor that comes out of a pepper is like amazing, or anything you grow. So,
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. The flavors are gonna be like more powerful. Yeah. And it's just gonna you're gonna have the satisfaction of growing it too. I think
yeah,
that's like a
exactly.
huge part of it. It tastes
So
better when you grow it yourself.
so can you grow like if I have a greenhouse, can I grow the mushrooms in the same space as everything else?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's certain, it depends on like your climate. So in southern Florida, like you're gonna have a lot more heat. So you're gonna
Right.
want to choose, especially in a greenhouse. So you're gonna want to choose varieties that are like love heat. And there are plenty of them, like pink oyster mushrooms, golden oyster mushrooms, the ones that you were talking about earlier, like
Right.
those love that type of environment.
Oh, okay.
Almond, we have a kind of mushroom called the almond agaricus, and it's actually one that you spread and you make mushroom beds from. So you could put it on like the paths of your greenhouse or outdoors.
Oh,
It'll
okay.
actually grow from the soil.
Okay.
They like a lot of heat too. So
Oh, that's
uh,
good to know. Yeah, that's the things I have to learn because we have to deal with the temperature here. And it's so strange. The temperature lately has been, it was 86. We had a high, which we never have 86 in February. And then it went
yeah,
down to 44.
yeah, that's quite the swing.
I'm like, okay. So it is always a challenge. And then all the little critters, like where I'm at now, most people live in city environments. So this will be good for people who live in the city. Like even in New York, you have your home, you can have a little kit there with your mushrooms, cut them up, eat them every day, right?
Yeah,
I can
totally.
just see
Yeah,
it. I think
yeah,
that's the cool thing to do. And you don't have to worry about don't buy those, or I don't like those alternative meat substitutes things,
yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
like, people, we said no processed food. That's processed.
Yeah, totally. It's super processed. And yeah, mushrooms like yeah, the spray and grow kits on the kitchen counter.
Yep.
That's the way to start. I think it's the introduction to mushroom growing. You start there and then there's all kinds of ways to expand that. Like people like you could probably see like you've got like a mushroom tent. Like you can make these they're sort of like the outdoor greenhouses, but smaller and you put them
Right,
inside.
right, right.
You can grow like, tens of pounds of mushrooms every week,
Oh,
more than you can
wow.
consume even. uh,
I've been giving out mushrooms everywhere. We have
yeah,
our neighbors gave us eggs, fresh eggs, because I don't know, a couple of neighbors down has a chicken, so he's always bringing us a dozen eggs. I'm like, thank you. They're so good. They're so
especially right now
good.
egg prices are so high. I'm sure like having a nice egg hookup is
Oh, I know. There's like $10 to buy eggs in the store, right? And they're going down a little bit, but they're not low enough yet. Before
yeah.
I used to buy eggs for like 2.99,
I know.
Oh, those are
Yeah,
like 6.99 now.
I know.
But so tell me a little bit about, I guess, like nutrients of mushrooms? Like what are the benefits of mushrooms?
Sure. So I mean, they're packed full of, kind of like the macronutrients, like they're, vitamin D. I think there's B vitamins, protein, but then there's all these other, like, certain species have these other compounds, these other things in them that are super medicinal. So, like golden oysters, for instance, have this thing called ergothioneine that are in them that is like, it's one of these things that are like blowing up in the wellness space right now. Like people take it, they're like, oh, maybe this is actually another vitamin, and supposedly it
Oh,
helps like with healthy aging and longevity. And then you have lion's mane. Lion's mane is a hugely popular mushroom right now because it has these compounds in it called arenaceines that are like being studied for helping memory and cognition and brain health. And so you have all these different kind of like mushrooms that are food and medicine combined. Like they're very
okay.
good for you in
Right.
particular ways, and
Yeah.
they're a delicious food, which is kind of it's nice when you can cook and have something that just be really supportive, nutritious.
And it tastes good, yes. Because like I tell people, when you're trying to stay healthy, sometimes your options aren't too good. Like the taste isn't that great, you know? You're like, why
Totally.
is it always healthy and it tastes like cardboard?
Yeah. It doesn't have to. I think it's
I
just
know exactly. I spice it up. I'm Puerto Rican, so I add this
yeah.
flavor, the sofrito. I put everything in, even if it's all gonna do that with the mushrooms, it's probably gonna be
Oh
good.
yeah. Yeah. That is
I
a
mean,
great way. I mean, oyster mushrooms and with that
yeah.
treatment.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that out. Yeah, I haven't tried that yet, so I have to try it. Yeah, it sounds really good. It sounds really interesting, and I'm happy to get out there and let people know about the mushrooms, and then
Yeah.
also look out for the game. So avowed,
Yeah.
avowed, and there was
Uh,
another game too, right? Then it was in oh no, The Last of Us and Avowed. The Last of Us. You mentioned that one too, right?
yeah. Yeah. That's like another game that
Has
I think
mushrooms.
there's been mushrooms in all kinds of video games lately. But yeah, that's the other sort of famous mushroom video game. But yeah, Avowed is looks amazing. I can't wait to play it myself. And from the team at Obsidian, which is sort of world renowned for making excellent video games. So it was a super cool. Like there are so many people who work at North Spore who are like,
Yeah, it is. It's
nerd out on video games, and we're super psyched that we have collaboration. So
It is. It's cool. That is cool because I know there's a lot of video games out there. So, but you have the opportunity to be in one and
yeah,
be part of it. So that's pretty exciting. So, so I appreciate you, Matt. This was an awesome conversation. I hope people get interested in mushrooms. I am. When you see the link, I'm going to put the link for the mushrooms so you can see and where you can buy your kits. And you'll see all the varieties. You're like, wow, they look so interesting. I think just because they look so fun, you're like, I gotta buy this, you know? And then they're mushrooms. They're good for you. I drink mushroom coffee. So,
oh, and North Spore is launching a mushroom coffee in a
oh,
month or two. So,
oh, I
and
gotta
we're
check
like
that
we're,
out.
we're trying to make it like the really high quality, like really tasty coffee with the best mushroom supplement that you can have in it. So,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Keep me informed. I'll be looking
I
for
will.
that.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll
Yeah,
send you.
so I can so I can try a new type of coffee. I've tried a couple of different ones and so I'm trying to see what works better, you know.
Sweet. That's
So
awesome.
anyway, well, thank you very much for your time and I hope we'll be eating mushrooms.
Sounds great. Yeah, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care.